Port Charlotte, heavily peated Islay Single Malt.
10 year.
10 years. 100 proof. We say Islay, maybe you say Islay, maybe you say Islay. How are you supposed to Islay? How are you supposed to pronounce that? It's Islay, come to find out.
Islay.
And what does single malt mean? If you've been hanging out with us, you probably know what that means because we talked about it here with Phil Mageddon a couple episodes ago. So let's get into it on this episode of Savor the Burn.
Smell it. Come on.
Yeah, you can smell it through the cap. Thank you, everybody, for checking into this episode of the Savor the Burn podcast, where we're going over. Oh shit! The Port Charlotte heavily peated Islay single malt Scotch. It's we're totally stoked about this. W2 has been waiting a long time to share this with us. Speaking of W2, how do you do, sir?
Doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Most excellent. Mr. Phil Mitchum, thank you one more again for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Delighted. I'm a raging ball of sunshine.
Raging ball of sunshine. Wow. Okay, so W2, what can you tell us about this bad boy?
There's a lot to tell about this one.
A lot of people liked it. When I posted it in the whiskey groups and the social medias, this got the most comments.
So me and a co-worker, buddy Kyle, and I, we frequently do bottle shares back and forth. So, we've got a thing going to where if you find a $35 bottle of whiskey, we buy it for each other. That's how I found and became aware of Slain Irish whiskey.
Okay.
It's a $22 bottle of Irish whiskey that's amazing. $22 bottle. So anyway, we had been doing that a couple times, and then this last Christmas, he's like, hey man, we should do a bottle exchange, and that will be our Christmas.
There you go.
I'm like, I'm in. I like it. And so anyway, this is the bottle that I got this last year. Bruichladdich is a distillery in Scotland. They make the Octomore, they make the Dark Arts, they make the Classic Laddie. They also make the Port Charlotte, and they've got a couple different expressions of the Port Charlotte. There's a 10-year, there's I think a 14, 18, and a 21-year version of this. This is the 10-year, and he's like, if you love that peaty, scotchy, smoky Scotch,
speaking my love language,
you're gonna love this. This is a great place to start. It embodies a classic Islay Scotch. And so he got this for me, and I got it for Christmas, so I've opened it up. I've had a small little pour of it, and it's wonderful. So to talk a little bit about that, there's so much information. I have fallen in love with their website. I have not seen any other spirit that has a website with so much detailed information about it. So many distillers are very secretive of their mash bill, and so they're secretive of their process. We got to keep our special sauce to ourselves. So
and
no
one printed it right on the label, but that's just one.
They put it all out there, and so they gave us a lot of information. I mean, all the way down. If I scroll on down here, I've got the specifications that say barley Providence, 100% Scottish barley from Inverness-shire region, malted heavily peated, distillation core age statement is age 10 years. The maturation is 65% first fill American whiskey cask, 10% second fill American whiskey cask, and 25% second fill French wine cask. Fennel level is 40 parts per million. Strength is 50 ABV. So, I mean, they give a lot of information.
Yeah, that's a lot more information.
The phenol levels is impressive. That's very impressive.
So now
I thought you said fennel. So I'm thinking like they put fennel in it?
Phenol.
And it's like, how many parts per million?
Yeah, it's Italian now. It's like a Scotch
But you were like, holy shit. And I'm like, huh?
phenols.
I don't understand math.
So backing up, this is from Bruichladdich. This is their Port Charlotte 10-year heavily peated Scotch whiskey, and I did not have it in my notes, but as you pointed out, it is a single malt Scotch whiskey. Country is Scotland. Region is Islay. Bruichladdich is the distillery. And it says this cooperage is 65% first fill American whiskey cask, 10% second fill American whiskey cask, and 25% second fill French wine cask. And this comes in at 100 proof, which is actually a lot higher than, so many scotches hover in that mid 80, just shy of 90.
It's a leaking.
This is 100 proof.
Yeah, don't waste it.
The Port Charlotte 10-year-old is conceived, distilled, matured, and bottled only on Islay. Made from 100% Scotch barley. So this is 100% Scotch barley.
Okay.
It is trickle distilled through tall, narrow-necked stills for a balanced, healthier style of barbecue smoke. I thought that was quite interesting.
From the bottle.
Our Port Charlotte 10-year-old expression is everything an Islay whiskey can and should be. With an ambition to make the ultimate Islay whiskey, this is a single malt made by people, not software. A whiskey watched over every day of its maturing life by those who made it. A whiskey born of a community with a vision and a mission to kickstart a single malt whiskey revolution. This Port Charlotte 10-year-old is who we are. This is where we're from. We believe an Islay Scotch should live and breathe the fresh salt tang of Islay air all its life. This is not a spirit distilled on the island and immediately shipped off to the mainland to mature in an undisclosed warehouse. This is a spirit born from the island and the community, a true expression of the island, the culture, the people.
I'm just getting the smells.
So much.
It's making me hungry.
Hungry. Yeah, you like to smoke meats, don't you?
Oh yeah, I'm a big barbecue. Smoked meats, smoked cheeses, smoked vegetables, smoked whatever, smoked beers, smoked whiskeys.
I mean, just from a visual standpoint and thinking about describing it as a healthy style of barbecue smoke.
A healthy style?
I immediately got.
Well, there's unhealthy barbecue smoke.
I immediately got this vision in my head of just these plumes of solid white, thick smoke.
What's it got to be white?
I mean, it could be.
It's a dirty fire. Oh. Should be more like a blue smoke. Thin blue smoke. That's the healthy smoke.
Let's get this puppy on the nose. Well, I don't know. We haven't talked about the color.
Oh my god!
Call that light.
That's
amber?
What I was waiting for.
Dark straw. What would you call that?
I would say a dark straw.
What's the MSRP on this?
Right around $60.
$60.
65 bucks.
Okay.
I'm definitely getting
is
one of these.
Is it kind of rare to where you'll find it more?
No, you'll find this everywhere. It's quite widely available.
Okay. All right.
The other one that you. The other one.
Wow.
It even gets a little bite to the nose.
The other affordable one you will find pretty available from Bruichladdich is called the Classic Laddie, and it very recognizable. It comes in a light blue tube, and the bottle is opaque painted light blue. So it's very, very unique and very recognizable.
Anybody need?
No, I'm
soaking this up. I don't want to erase the memories.
Yeah, I got lots of smoke, but I'm picking up. I don't know if it's honey or what, but like
there's definitely like a
trying to.
There's a brine. I mean, you can smell the sea.
Briny. Yeah.
You can smell seaweed. I mean, you're next to the sea.
It's like smoky dark cherries.
Yes.
God damn it! I love this. This is great. I just want to put this smell in a little sachet. hanging from my rearview mirror.
Yeah, like you did earlier. Just dip my finger.
Yeah, just dab, 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 dab.
I go walking through the office smelling like fucking scotch. They're gonna be like,
and there's like
last night was podcast night, wasn't it?
And you get a
Hey, 60% of the time it works.
Every time.
Every time.
and you definitely get like that they say barbecue smoke flavor, but it's definitely like that campfire-y.
Yeah.
Like you're off in the distance, getting close to camp, but then you can smell the fire in the distance, kind of thing.
To me, it doesn't come across as an artificial smokiness. I mean, that is a very genuine.
And I think I'm getting like almond.
Okay.
Maybe that's where I'm getting some of that cherry stuff from. Maybe that's a little bit of almond.
Yeah, like cherry almond ice cream.
Yeah.
To me, there's almost a
Is there a touch of
smoked
creaminess
salmon brininess to it.
Smoked salmon? Smoked salmon's pretty
That
bitchy.
sounds fishy.
You heard it here, folks.
It's definitely got that cherry Coke, like the more you smell it, it kind of turns into that, like what you would expect from like a cherry Coke. But it's like a smoky cherry Coke. I don't know anymore. I want to drink it.
Yeah.
100 proof. There's no burn on the nose.
No, not at all.
There's no ethanol. It's probably being covered by the.
It gave me a little bit of a pinch.
If you take it deep
especially
enough
at first.
breath, it'll hit you in the back of the throat.
Yeah. Well, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Cheers, genitals.
That's delightful.
I expected it to be more sweeter, but it's a little more dry than I thought it was going to be. It's oak, oak and smoke on the finish.
Lots of oak.
It's a very oaky afterbirth as well.
Eucalyptus?
What?
I didn't think eucalyptus, but
No?
kind of like a mint, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I
Like a menthol?
menthol.
Something from the mint family, eucalyptus-y.
Yeah, I guess I could.
But that's the finish. So we jumped right past the palate.
I mean, for
palate-
for 100 proof,
Oaky.
it
doesn't drink like 100 proof.
no, it doesn't drink like 100 proof at all. It's well rounded. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you don't like smoked anything, then you probably wouldn't like go running for this. But the balance with the peat and the smoking, the peated malt, and just the whiskey itself in general, like
It's very earthy.
it's not cloyingly smoky. Like it doesn't
It's not smoky to be smoky.
It's not like you ate a lump of charcoal or anything.
Yep.
Would you say the almonds carried through on the palate, or did they disappear? Because I was thinking like walnut.
Have you ever had smoked almonds?
Yeah. No, I have not. That's what I was thinking. Like with all the smoke and savor and the earthiness, maybe it tastes like smoked almonds on the palate, and that's why I asked if the almonds carried over. But then you asked me if I had smoked almonds. I'm like,
It does
only because I've had this.
It does remind me of and I know it's an almond. Almond extract.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that smell, like where it's kind of that cherry. Like I don't know how to describe that smell. It's like kind of like I mean, it's almonds obviously, but it kind of has like if you had a maraschino cherry, that kind of
Is there a little bit of coconut
like
in there?
amaretto coconut on the palate.
I am tasting I don't know if that's coconut, but
Maybe if you're eating that woolly exterior.
I'm getting a sulfury like a burnt match.
Yeah.
On the finish?
On the finish, like the taste of the smell of a just stricken match.
Well, I have a ton of tasting notes that I was able to pull off, again off
almost
of
like
Yeah, let's see where we come in on your tasting notes.
off of their website. Again, I was so impressed with how much
Lightly
information.
sweet.
So many websites just
Subtly
kind of
sweet.
skimp on some of the details, and I was so excited about it. So, a category that I typically don't find anywhere else is they had one.
Excuse me.
They start with a category called character. Aging for 10 years on the shores of Loch Indal has had a profound effect on this spirit. Like sunshine on the winter's day, this Port Charlotte 10 brings clarity and lightens the mood, welcoming and brightening the future. Color is primrose to citrine. I don't know what that is. The nose. The smoke is calmed by the marine ozone character, while the smoke is always discernible on the nose. It is dry and earthy in its style, allowing the oak to come forward with waves of golden caramel, fudge, vanilla custard, hints of ginger, nutmeg, and clove.
Ooh.
There is citrus fruit coaxed from the glass with a drop of water, gentle lemon meringue, and clementine. Breathe deeply, and the floral aromas of wild thyme, heather, and sea pink transport you to the Atlantic coast. On the palate, there is a noticeable delicacy and softness in texture and style. Again, the balance of flavor is superb as the smoke wraps loosely around the sweetness drawn from the deep within the oak. Coconut, vanilla custard, and lemon honey combines with smoked oysters and sun-baked salty sand.
I don't know about the oyster thing.
Sun-baked salty sand?
Salty sand.
I never thought to eat the sand.
Let alone with salt.
Finish. The finish is sublime.
Tastes like feet.
The finish is sublime, smoky, sure, but the softness, sweetness of fudge and malted barley, orange, mango, and banoffee pie. I'm not sure what banoffee pie is.
I'm interested. I do love me some pie.
Signal the depth and quality of the oak.
Fudge?
The many layers
A little bit.
interchange on each sip. As the smoke comes and goes, so too do the notes of ripe apples and apricot.
Fudge and then do it. It kind of
Beautifully intertwined with malt
Finish your palate.
and oak
Yeah,
sweetness
palate.
and the typical
Well,
Port Charlotte style
palate to
dry
finish.
smoke.
Yeah, dry smoke. That's
This makes me happy. That's what I know. This is fantastic.
yeah.
And we're not there yet, but just presentation on the bottle.
Presentation is really cool.
I love the dark green glass.
Yeah.
I love the
Who else has that?
I like the gray
careful,
white.
the
I like the
cork does leak.
contrast of the label.
the graphic design on the label is beautiful. Dark gray label on the green glass, and then you've got white, a silver ink, black, and then the pop orange yellow of for the 10 on there. Just it works
It's an
so
attractive
well.
bottle.
For me,
And then on the backside, you've got the embossment of
heavy
of
embossing.
everything.
Yeah.
And on dark green glass, the heavy embossment on the dark green glass is I love that.
Clearly, the topper is a composite. I don't remember. Is it a natural cork or is
It's
it
natural
composite?
cork, and that's probably why it's leaking.
Yeah, it's a little loose on the top, but
Yeah. So got to be careful when you get all topsy-turvy with it. And we had that problem with this 3-chamber whiskey over here when it was given to us from
Bubbles.
Bubbles. Yeah, up in Parkville. But
I can't wait to get into
this
that
has a
one.
plastic cap. It doesn't have a cork, but yet it leaks.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd like to get a hold of the distiller. He said he was a card. He was a wild man. That would be fun to check out. I swear I'm missing something.
Yeah, I love everything about this.
yeah, this is
I didn't do
fantastic.
finish.
There's a little bit of maybe a pepperiness to the finish.
Yeah. Yes.
Like it's not just sea salt. There's a black and white pepper going on.
Pepper on the black and white on the finish.
And I also noticed that after it's been sitting there for a while in my mouth, there almost is like a saltwater taffy.
Yeah,
flavor.
yeah.
Yeah, the briny is definitely there. It's briny and sweet.
I think that's the play on the briny and the honey sweetness.
I don't
Working
eat oysters, so I'm not sure if I could pick that flavor out.
I love oysters. I don't know if I would have picked out a smoked oyster on this.
Yeah, I know you said something about salmon.
That was one of my initial thoughts was kind of a smoked salmon. I was thinking about a couple years for Christmas, my dad and stepmom, one of our Christmas gifts from them was a package that they had shipped to us from Pike's Market in Seattle. And that box came with an assortment of different smoked salmons.
Ooh.
And one of the things that we have grown to we devour it so ravish. Yeah, just so good is their smoked salmon jerky.
Oh,
they cut the salmon into like 1-inch strips, and then they smoke it like that, and so you eat it as jerky. It's the most amazing thing, and so that's kind of what I was thinking of.
I need to keep an eye out for salmon jerky.
Salmon jerky is
that sounds great,
amazing.
It's pretty fucking bitchin'.
Yeah,
you gave me a piece of it, and I was like,
it has just a thin layer of the skin on the back side of it, which holds it together, and you basically just pull it right off of the skin, and
it pulls off like that bologna string stuff.
I'm buying a smoker. I've been eyeballing pellet smokers for 3 or 4 years now, and I have not pulled the trigger yet. I'm gonna buy a smoker for no other reason but to make
jerky,
salmon jerky.
I've got that Traeger 650, the ironwood.
That's one of the ones I've looked at,
and it works fantastic.
I've looked at that one, and there's one at Home Depot. It would be the something Pitmaster.
Okay.
It's a pellet smoker, but the reason why I've been looking at that one is it's vertical.
Okay. Yeah.
And then comes with hooks on there, and because it's vertical, you can take the racks out and then just have your strips kind of hung. So I'm like, that's kind of a natural.
I hem hot around those too. Yeah, it was hard to choose, but then I decided that I don't do like sausage links or anything like that, even though I love sausage. Doesn't mean you can't do it on the barrel style. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, if you wanted to like hang like fish up or something like that, I mean, go for it.
Plus, the one I was looking at also had all the Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, smart.
Of course, it does.
Things built into it, so I can sit in the house or sit on the deck, and just like forget about it.
It was like -8 outside and snowing. You don't want to fuck with that shit.
Sit inside, have a pour of Port Charlotte, and wait for my phone to beep.
Dude, I tell you, smoky. Like heavily peated scotches are great in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
They're great all the time.
They're also great.
I'm just a huge peat malt nutcase. When I had my first Strangfurlaw beer, Rausch beer, I was given the advice to have a very sharp cheddar cheese and a dark chocolate with it.
Dude, and sharp cheddar cheese with this.
Oh yeah, it tastes like cheesy bacon.
Oh wow,
it's weird. It's delicious.
If you paired sharp cheddar cheese with your 10-year Port Charlotte and the mouth taste you were left with tasted like bacon, that's kind of a loophole, ain't it? Like if you were in the mood for bacon, being a vegetarian, I can't imagine ever being in the mood for bacon. But as a vegetarian, if you ever were, maybe that's something you could explore.
So one of the weirdest things on the fucking
there's
planet.
Fake bacon.
Well, I was gonna say one of the weirdest things on the planet is Morningstar makes a Fakin product, which is a really weird kind of a pastry doughy type of strips, and they are very, very artificially colored with like off-white and blood red,
off-white down
zigzag
the middle.
stripes through there. You can put them in a pan, but you can also just pop them in the microwave. And it doesn't take very long, and then it crisps up. And the first time you have it, you're like, this is a great bacon substitute. But the more and more you get into it, you realize that one of the ingredients in this product is sunflower seeds. And so all of a sudden that bacon flavor changes to a sunflower seed, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I still think it's okay.
But if you want bacon.
But the artificial bacon fat coloring, marbling that they do on there is just not right. I don't mind the bacon substitute thing, and again, I think it's fine, and I've actually made a BLT with it.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah,
throw a whole bunch of romaine lettuce in there, slice up some tomatoes, and then throw some of this Fakin in there.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's almost like you can't tell
on an Italian hoagie style bread.
I just had a thought.
Great.
I just had a thought. If you took like a brick of sharp cheddar cheese and you smoked it, but while smoking it, you're cooking bacon at the same time. But so bacon's underneath, cheese is on top.
Sure.
That's
So
still
the essence of the smoke.
so the essence
from the smoke.
and bacon is the flavor of bacon in smoke is going to be very strong.
Yeah, it's going to permeate that cheese.
Yeah. But that wouldn't be cheating on the vegetarian, right?
For vegan,
Because it's
I
not
believe
touching
definitely
anything.
would.
Well,
For
the vegan wouldn't eat the cheese to begin
Yeah, they
with.
wouldn't eat the cheese. That's right.
You're right. You're right.
Vegan, no milk, no egg,
Yeah, no animal
cheese,
products whatsoever.
no nothing. Yep.
I don't know. Something to think about.
I was just thinking.
If you're a vegetarian, tell us what you think. If you're a vegan, we already know what you think. Don't fucking bring it up. But
I mean, I very
know what you think.
I very frequently refer to myself as vegetarian, but if I'm being very specific, I'm definitely pescatarian because I will eat the shit out of any seafood. What'd you give it on the nose?
It's so good. It's so good.
if you ever want to freak out
Oh
some
my
friends,
god, it's so
and you're
good.
standing around drinking whiskey, if you ever want to freak them out, take you a sip of the whiskey and then gargle it in front of them. And then just like out of the corner of your eye, whatever peripheral vision, just like watch their faces. They'd be like, what's wrong with them? And then you swallow, like, yes.
Shower in this shit.
And they start looking for the exit. On the nose, I gave it a 5. How about you, Mr. Phil?
Dang.
On the nose, I give
No, shit. I'm sorry. On the nose, I give it a 4.5. How about you, Mr. Phil?
I was like, wow. He's like, fuck it, I'm going all in.
I gave it a 4.75. That's that sings to my heart. That makes me want to dance.
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
You guys were hella jazzed about this one for sure.
I mean, the minute it got close to my nose, I was like, "Thank you." That's
Dude,
the
it
payoff.
didn't even. It was all the way out here.
It was
You're
like, I could already get it.
He starts fucking vibrating.
But then I got it up to my nose, and it's like, finally the payoff.
Excuse me.
He's gonna get home and he's gonna have some explaining to do. Why is there a snail trail in your underwear?
Got a really awkward boner right now.
Awkward boner. Awkward boner. We've all got it. Okay, not so awkward. Shall we compare? How about you, W2? What'd you give it on the nose?
I get 4.5.
Okay, all right. So, all right, we met.
Beyond solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastic.
How about the palate? The palate. What did you give it on the palate?
Trucking right along at 4.5.
All right. That I kept it at a 4.5 as well. And it looks like Mr. Phil,
Yep, 4.5.
4.5. So we're all locked in on the same number on the
Delicious.
palate. How about finish?
4.5.
You kept it at 4.5. I gave it a 4.75. I really, really, really enjoyed the finish.
The finish is great. I mean, it's
at 4.5 on both nose and palate. Yes, I definitely enjoyed more than anything average the nose and the palate, but the finish for me was even better than that.
Yep, and I was good. I was rolling along at 4.5 on the finish. It really is freaking delicious for.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Like if you're a fan of
for a $60 bottle too.
Yeah,
that's
the heavily peated stuff. This should be on your shopping list. Don't say it's for the podcast. You'll be fine.
And I guess I should clarify. Like, I am a fan of peated smoked anything. So I mean, I might be a little bit biased. So I wouldn't say like just because we're like grading it higher, but in the classification of peated smoked whiskeys, if that's your wheelhouse, this is.
and in Islay, that most of that area is all very marshy, and so the peat is everywhere. And for centuries, that was their source of fuel for heating, cooking, everything. Can you imagine everything
Tasting
in
like
your
peated
livelihood?
Yeah,
Had that peated smokiness to it.
Yes, the answer is yes, and I would love it.
But I don't like spam. It's only got a little bit of peat in it.
I don't like
How about bottle presentation? We talked about it a little bit, not extensively. Thank goodness. Sometimes we get into the weeds on those things. But I gave it a 4.25.
Okay.
Because I liked it. I thought it was really cool looking.
I gave it 4.5.
Okay.
So a little bit high. It's a very, very simple design. There's nothing.
It is.
I don't know if I would say, oh, this is a wow presentation, but that is a really, really high level graphic design on the label. And I think the squared off round bottle style in the dark green glass just has a very, very nice look to it. And then you get to the back side of it, and it's got all that great embossing lettering of everything.
With me, I definitely had a little bit of a wow factor to it because I don't think we've had a dark green tinted
Not
glass
like this, no.
bottle. It's like maybe light green for sure, or not as dark like with Booker's. Are some of those green tinted or no?
No,
they're just tinted.
They're
okay.
They're clear.
Oh, I thought they were at least tinted.
No, they're clear.
Shows what I knows. And also the heavy embossing on the back. Like it's not just embossing. It pops. Fucking pops.
And I like that charcoal gray,
on the
not
label.
quite black composite topper.
Oh, on the topper, yeah.
Which is the
And on
same color
topper,
as the label.
It says something up here. What does it say here?
Probably Bruichladdich.
Pull to open.
Progressive. Little throwback to the Japanese whiskey episode. Progressive Herbadine Distillery. It's their distillery.
Well, that's on the back. That's what it says on the back right here. Yeah.
How do you pronounce that?
Progressive. I don't.
Herbadine.
It ain't Scottish. It's
Herbadine.
Aberdeen. I always have to do the Michael Myers impression first, just to get my Scottish accent.
Get in my belly. No wait.
Who's gonna cry to sleep tonight on this huge pillow?
Woo, glad you're here, Phil.
And it looks like Sputnik.
He said it. So, what did your final score come to?
4.5 all the way down. Makes it a 9.
Oh yeah, by the way, I gave it a 4.5 on bottle presentation too. I like how it just kind of pops. This is like if you set this bottle on a bar of many bottles, like if you had your own little home bar or something, people would look at that and be like, "What in the
That 10
that
just
10
jumps,
just calls
jumps,
you in."
yeah.
And then you start looking at it and you're like, Port Charlotte, I don't know what that is. And then you see the silverly heavy peated and you're like, okay. And then everything kind of comes together. So it's a well done design, also with the embossing as well, like you guys all said. I like it. So I gave a final of a
9.125. What is that, an 8?
8.
9 and an 8. So you came up with a 9 with different math than I did. And I came up with a 9.
Excellent.
So that's something.
That's
congruent.
We hardly ever agree on with our numbers, and to see that we came up, we got there in different ways, but we agreed on our final score with
so good
with this one. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I wasn't too far off, but it's the nose that gets me because that's just oh man, that's so sexy.
Dude, that is straight up grilled meats.
Yeah. This would go like...
Yeah, that's your smoked salmon.
Yeah.
That's your salmon jerky.
It is. That salmon jerky right there.
And if you don't like salmon,
straight off the grill.
Don't let that be a deterrent for you. It's a super unique smell, and this is only on the second nose. Like, I didn't pick up the smoked salmon. Did you pick up the smoked salmon?
No.
There's like smoked meat across the board.
Yeah, I didn't think.
And I think you picked up smoked salmon. I think on the palate. Somewhere.
And it also smells like, when you're cooking bratwurst and you put the lid on and it just smokes instead of like grills. It's that like, it's like that smell when you're cooking brat.
Yeah, it does have a bit of a pork meat.
Hot dog flavored water.
Hot dog flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. The biscuit in the house.
And the chocolate flavored
You
starfish.
don't know what it's like to be the bad man.
Yeah.
L-I-M-P biscuit.
Discover.
God, do we have to keep doing this?
It's for the podcast.
For the podcast.
I did, and still do like Limp Bizkit.
They had some hits.
They had some hits, but I like the deeper cuts.
Yeah, break
stuff.
That's not a deeper cut. That was a
Faith.
hit.
Faith. Oh my God.
That was a hit. Yeah, you go back to the first album. There was some psycho female blowing up the phone line. You need to tighten that screw. It's been loose for a long time. I've been slammed with some bad luck. Soon I'm going to bring you doom with the buck. Now you Duck Duck Goose ran loose with the 30 off freestyle label lifestyle for my profile.
Right.
See, right. It's a hell of a song. I like it.
Wow, what just happened?
You did what I did when Mudvayne came out with that LD50 album. There was, I think it was like track 14 or whatever, where he was like, you were there like a punk just to get in my face. Would it be till I gave you a taste? Don't need your goddamn pressure from stress. Superman, motherfucker, without the S on my chest. Trying to step in my circle, I'm leaving you purple and black on your back. Drop your ass like a heart attack, ripping through your life like a motherfucking hurricane. Fistful of Novocaine for the pain. See?
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I don't. When it comes to Mudvayne, I don't necessarily get it.
Different mamas.
I get it. Well, I'd say if you're a fan of heavily peated, smoky Islay style scotches, and that is how you pronounce it, Islay. Don't argue with me. I didn't.
Islay didn't even no.
Here we go. But 100% check out the Port Charlotte. Heavy peated 10-year.
Yes. Thank you, Kyle.
Yes,
Yeah,
Kyle, you were the
definitely.
man.
Shout out to Kyle. It's a $60 bottle.
Worth
if that's not outside of your price range, which it shouldn't be. If you're just getting, $15 bottles of Jim Beam,
I got to participate.
that's fine. That's your thing. But you're never going to touch this flavor profile with that bottle. So, actually, with anything from their lineup, you'll never get it because this is Scotch. It's a totally different animal. Yes, it's whiskey, not EY, but Y. Mm-hmm. And it's a totally different process, and you can look up the process.
Dude, I was so excited
online.
to learn that this is 100% Scottish barley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Scotch, so of course it's Scottish, but it's 100% barley.
Mm-hmm. It's like a single grain. But it's not. Barley's not a grain, right?
Well, it's a single malt.
Like a little
it's
flour.
malted barley.
Isn't that a flower head?
Barley's a grain.
Is it a grain? I thought it was a flower head.
No, it's a grain.
It's a seed.
Okay.
And even when you get into your grain whiskeys, you can use barley because barley is a grain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's typically not done in that process though because it's substantially more expensive than corn or wheat.
I'm thinking hops. Is hops the flower head?
Hops are flowers.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Third cousins to marijuana.
Oh, third cousins.
Science. Yep.
Huh.
Science.
Never been the biggest fan. Never been the biggest fan of the weeds. I don't really care if you're into it. Go for it.
Well, there's actually a thing behind that. So people that are like really strong IPAs and really hoppy beers, it's because there's a kind of like a hop addiction that gets your brain gets triggered by the resins from the alpha acids and the isomerization of those hops at such strengths is kind of like
That makes sense.
It does attach a receptor and you get a positive response out of it. So there are people called hop heads.
There was a time where I was totally a hophead. I went from IPA to IPA. Oh, give me that dry hopped IPA.
Hardest thing you can find.
And then you find yourself into the Lagunitas stuff, which is all this super hopped up IPAs and
Get nuts on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that way with goth chicks and fishnets.
Goth chicks? Oh,
goth chicks.
Is that hop stupid?
Goth stupid? Yeah, definitely.
No. Lagunitas hop stupid.
Hop stupid.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's one of the hoppiest. Not. When it first came out, it was the hoppiest IPA on the market.
Yeah, it was some ridiculous, like 120 IBUs or something like that.
Huh.
IBUs, International Bittering Units. The higher you go, the higher your hop head goes.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, there was a time where I was just like, give me the most bitter, the hoppiest, double hop it, give me a wet hopped on top of it, all the things.
Can you rattler it with hops?
I don't know what radlering is, but it sounds pretty cool.
You're just filtering beer as you pass it through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you'll hear about like strawberry radlers or something like that. So they're pouring beer, but they're pouring it through strawberries.
Sounds awful.
Or did I say that right? Raspberries? I don't know.
Like strawberries.
I'm not.
Sorry. Pick a fruit.
For me,
Pick
it
a
sounds
flavor.
awful.
Pick
But
a
for
flavor that
everybody
sounds
else on
great.
the planet, it sounds great.
Just put it in a little tank thing. You run your beer through it. It's basically like pressing it through into the glass, and that's your rattler.
All right. Well, as you can tell, Mr. Phil here, he knows his way around beer. And if you watch the last series of episodes we had him on, way back with the like Father's Day week,
Smoke
pretty
wagons.
much right there with the smoke wagons.
wagons.
Yeah, we mentioned that he's willing to entertain ideas if anybody has like a small space. What'd you say it was, 1,500 square foot or so?
1,500 square foot,
if
probably.
If you're looking to try to
Mine
bump-
extra room.
You're right. More room is always a good thing because you need space to store stuff
And grow.
and grow. Yeah.
Yep.
So if you thank you for reaching out for those that did have spaces, but no, it's got to be here in the Kansas City area, not Vegas, not Houston, not Minnesota. So thank you for reaching out. But it's
Wait, we had one from Minnesota?
Minnesota. So if you're in the Kansas City metro area or know somebody in the KC metro, Kansas City proper, reach out to us. info@savortheburn.com, Jonathan at savortheburn.com, W2 at savortheburn.com, or find Phil Mitchum on socials somehow.
Jeebus Crisis.
Jeebus Crisis. There's also,
Just reach out to us,
Yeah.
Savor the Burn, and
get you
we'll be.
they know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah. So definitely, thank you for reaching out. And no matter who you are, where you are, what you're drinking, and who you're drinking it with, never forget.
And what you're smelling.
Keep
on
on
burning.
Ka-chow.
I'm excited about this.
Heavily.
From Bruichladdich. Probably butchering that pronunciation.
Bruichladdich.
Bruichladdich.
I can't. I always screw up my Scottish accent. And every time I think of it, I think of Sean Connery. And that doesn't help.
It should.
Bruichladdich.
Bruichladdich.
I used
Single
to
malt.
I used to do that because what was it? Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I was like,
Oh, yes.
Robin of Locksley.
Rock.
Robin of
Yeah,
Locksley.
welcome to the Rock,
Gentlemen,
gentlemen.
welcome to the Rock.
Oh yeah, you did have that little rock.
He'd roll his R's every once in a while. I'm like, oh, he must be exotic.
Still my favorite 007.
Yep.
I don't know what Pierce Brosnan thought he was doing being a 007. It was all
I liked
right.
it.
It was all right.
I liked it.
I'm a Daniel Craig fan too.
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig, yeah.
Daniel Craig did
He gets
great.
looked over a lot, but he was really
he killed
good
it.
too.
I thought he
absolutely
killed it.
I thought, you know what? I think Pierce Brosnan had the look, but maybe not so much as swagger.
Yeah. Well,
Honestly, better than Pierce Brosnan, I think Timothy Dalton.
Well, there's a name that doesn't really get bring up in.
I think there was only one, maybe two. I think it was only one,
yeah. Wasn't very long.
but
I'm a big 007 fan. But yeah, when the Daniel Craig 007 came out, I was stoked. I was picking up the Blu-rays and everything. Like,
yep.
And I
Yeah, Skyfall.
I can still watch those over and over again. Especially the first one starring Daniel Craig, Casino Royale. The way that opens up and just like, boom, this is the new Bond, motherfuckers.
Yep.
I thought that was so
Is that the
cool.
one with Halle Berry?
No.
No, which
That's,
one was with Halle Berry? That wasn't a Pierce Brosnan one, was it? I thought that was Daniel Craig.
No, it's not Daniel Craig.
I don't remember Halle Berry being,
That was a Pierce Brosnan one.
Was it? All right.
that wouldn't have been GoldenEye because it.
They were
Golden, to your
they were
credit,
up in like the North Pole or South Pole. They were in some Arctic region.
well, that would have been GoldenEye.
Yeah, I think it was.
GoldenEye starts out in the Arctic.
I think it
Well,
was.
maybe it was.
with the hacker dude.
The hacker dude, wasn't it like 006?
Well, the other agent, but there was like that Russian hacker dude that was in it was in GoldenEye. It was like, I forget what his tagline was. I am invincible. That's what it was.
Well, like I thought 006 in the end anyway. Spoiler alert, faked his death. And he was the main bad guy in that one. And I thought Halle Berry was in it, but
they thought he was dead because he was basically sabotaged. So 007 had to blow the place up, and 006 told him to.
okay.
And so then he thought he was dead, but turns out he was not. And so then he was totally Jesus Christ. Here I go.
It's
So
all right.
he was totally pissed off.
It's not
at
one of
James
the
Bond.
three things we've sworn not to talk about that we talk about anyway.
I was about to go down the whole chain there.
Yeah.
Anyways, Not important anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And stuff.